Hello everyone, welcome back to LEGO DC Supervillains. Today we're going to continue the completion of the challenges. Today we're going to complete 6 challenges, starting off with the Sunflower Smasher challenge. Now when I smash this it will say 2 out of 10. However, that's because I accidentally smashed one when I was just playing the game once, and I can't go back. Like, I could have quickly exited without saving, but I probably would have lost some other stuff too, so I didn't do that. I probably should have quickly recorded it, so I could have included that in this clip, but do you know what? There's nothing I can do about it. This is going to be 2 out of 10 for me. Let's smash it. Two out of 10. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, here is the next one. There we go, 3 out of 10. Alright, here's the next one. That is 4 out of 10. I don't know why Superman is just wandering about, or going all the way around like that, but here is the next one. Let's smash it. That is 5 out of 10. Here is the next one. Smash it for number 6. Alright, here's the next one. Let's smash it. And that is number 7. Alright, here is the next one next to this pole. And that is number 8 out of 10. Alright, here's the next one next to this little ramp. Let's smash it. And there we go, that's 9 out of 10. Alright, here is the last one. Let's smash it. That gives us our 114th golden brick. That's 10 out of 10. There's still one more technically, so I will show that location. Alright, here would be the location for the 10th one. It would be sitting right here where I'm standing. So that would be number 10. Let's move on to the next challenge. Okay, here we are in Apocalypse for the next challenge. Originally, I was going to leave this challenge until last, because then I'd be in Apocalypse for doing the 100% completion of Apocalypse. But since I've decided to do the File Finder challenge in its own dedicated video, and when I'll need to quit the game to edit the clips together anyway, and it doesn't spawn you in Apocalypse as one of the options, I may as well just complete this challenge now in order. So here is the first one that you need to collect for this challenge. You simply fly over it, like so, collect it, and that is 1 out of 10. Okay, here is the second piece. It is up on the main tower. Here. Let's collect it. That is 2 out of 10. Alright, here is the next one. Can we fly in through the eye? We certainly can. And let's collect on it. That is 3 out of 10. Alright, here's the next one. It's behind this banner, this red banner. So let's collect it. That is number 4 out of 10. Alright, here is the next one. I missed. That is 5 out of 10. Alright, the next one is inside of the main citadel bit. And you fly through there and straight to collect it. I'll show you from the outsider's perspective. Remember, this is where we were in the level, and it's pushed me out, of course it has. 6 out of 10. Okay, the next one is in the arena. As you can see, there's the arena, and up here is number 7 out of 10. Okay, the next one is down here. So you head down these stairs, in and around, and there it is for number 8 out of 10. Right, the next one is behind this sign. Here it is for number 9 out of 10. Alright, the last one is just here on this lava pool. I guess it's our 115th golden brick, and that is 10 out of 10. So we can now move on to the next challenge. Alright, the next challenge is Bow Tie Bandit. So there will be 10 bow ties on random objects like this, strewn about the entire map, I assume. So, let's smash the first one. That is 1 out of 10. Alright, the next one is just down here, pretty close to where the previous one was. Oh, you can't see it because the map opened. That's 2 out of 10. There it is, 2 out of 10. Alright, here is the next one. 3 out of 10. Alright, the next one is on this building here in the corner. Top left. And that is 4 out of 10. Alright, here's the next one. It's in Gotham, which I think the rest of them are. Why won't that one's break? There we go. 5 out of 10. Alright, here's the next one. Which is number 6 out of 10. Alright, here is the next one. For 7 out of 10. Here is the next one near the Botanical Gardens. Let's smash it. And there you go. Number 8 out of 10. Alright, here's the next one. It's on the little monorail thing. And that is number 9 out of 10. Here is the last one. I guess I'm 116th golden brick and 10 out of 10. Alright, let's move on to the next challenge, which is called Modest Misdemeanors. So first of all, we are in this location, which is Amusement Mile, and we need to interact with this baby. And there we go. Bit mean, but, you know, there you go. That is 1. I didn't see what the number was, actually, but I'm pretty sure it's not 10. I think it's 5. 1 out of 5. So let's move on to the next one. Alright, the next thing we need to do is right here. I believe we have to drive the car to a specific location. So let's go. And there we go. That is 2 out of 5 for this challenge. Alright, the next one is at the church. Let's charge this up. And that opens up this safe. And that is 3 out of 5. Right, the next thing we need to do is over here. We need to take out the enemies. Which we've apparently done. And now we need someone with explosives. Such as the Joker. And then we break it. And that is 4 out of 5. Alright, the last one that we need to do is smash up 3 of these. So there we go. That's 1. 2 is here. The last one is just around here. That's 5 out of 5, and I'm 117th golden brick. There we go, that is that challenge fully complete. So let's move on to the next one. Alright, there is a very high chance that this challenge that we're about to complete, you might have already done naturally. Because 1 out of the 3 that you need to do for this challenge, it will be done as part of a story where you travel from Gotham to Metropolis in these. So you should have completed that one. So let's move on to the second one. Okay, so the second one that you'll need to do for this challenge, which I've also completed, I actually did it by accident, is at Amusement Mile. This one right here. So the first one in question that you will have completed as part of a story is this one right here. The second one is right here, which goes to here. So now we just need to do the third one. Okay, so here is the third one. Let's hop on so we can actually complete it. We have to actually let it manually take us to the location in question. So let's go. Oh, no, we don't. There we go. 118 golden bricks, 3 out of 3. Perfect. Alright then, so the last challenge for this video is going to be the golden graffiti, as we're leaving the Game Guru and Filefinder challenges for their own dedicated videos. Well, the Game Guru one potentially is going to be done as part of the free roam, naturally, but I'm going to Google search to see if it's possible to do, if all the missions are available straight away, because if they are, I could do a dedicated video to them, but I will still split it into its own video. But without any further ado, let's do the golden graffiti challenge. The first one we need to do is inside of here. Let's start off with the first one then, which is right here. All we have to do is press it, say yes, and it's going to build what we are defacing. And there we go. That is 1 of 9 complete. So let's move on to the next one. Okay, the next one is at not Wayne Tech. I was going to say Wayne Tech, my bad. I mean the Hall of Justice location, and it requires 20 golden bricks. So without any further ado, let's do it. That is 2 of 9. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, here we are for the next one. This is number 3 out of 9. I was going to say 10 then, but it's 3 out of 9. It requires 30 golden bricks. So let's do it. You're not spending those 30, it just requires you to own 30. Alright, that is 3 of 9. So we've done a quarter. Or a third, I mean. Alright, here is the next one. Requires 40 golden bricks. And that is 4 out of 9. Alright, here is the next one at Ace Chemicals. You remember we came here when we were doing the Peeping Penguins challenge? I didn't even press the button. Let's deface it. Costs 50 golden bricks. That is 5 out of 9. Alright, here is the next one. It requires 60 golden bricks. Let's do it. And that is 6 out of 9. So you've now done 2/3. Alright, here is the next one, requiring 70 golden bricks. Let's do it. It's in Amusement Mile. And that is 7 out of 9. Right, the next one is up here on this castle. Let's do it. It requires 80 golden bricks. And that is 8 out of 9. Here is the last one, so let's do it for 90 golden bricks. So I was wrong, I thought the last one was going to be 100, but it's not, it's 90. So there we go, let's do it. And that gives us our 119th golden brick, and that is 9 out of 9. So that challenge is now complete. And that also marks the end of this video. So, in the next video, we will be completing the File Finder challenge. So, until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks very much for watching, and goodbye.